Welcome to Realize the Dream, 100 million hours of service in honor of Dr. King's 100th birthday. My name is Sarah Zerbuchen, and I'll be your host for today. I'm the Senior Director of Education Plus. Here's a quick agenda of what we'll be going through together today. First, we'll start with a quick introduction to Education Plus and an overview of the Realize the Dream movement. We'll talk through how we'll support you, how you can participate, and of course, make sure you're clear on your next steps. All of the resources that you see today, including curriculum, our how-to guides, and anything else that you might see, it's all available through educationplus.org. We've provided a QR code in the corner there for ease of reference. And when you visit the page, simply click on Initiatives in the top right corner, and the drop-down for Realize the Dream will be there. Realize the Dream is built around the premise of collecting 100 million hours of service in honor of Dr. King's 100th birthday anniversary. We've created 3 powerful initiatives that signal an incredible call for change and an opportunity to uplift communities across America through service. Realize the Dream has really been concepted and is being led by the next generation of the King family, fulfilling Dr. King's legacy. That includes Martin Luther King III, the eldest son and namesake of Dr. King, his partner, Andrea Waters King, a mentee of Coretta Scott King, and a powerful advocate for marginalized groups over the last several decades. And of course, Yolanda Renee King, the only grandchild of Dr. King, who's an incredible public speaker and who is really championing this initiative and advocating on behalf of youth voice in our country. Let's take a quick listen to the King's message to join Realize the Dream.
Do you have a dream for America? I do. I'm the only granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. I dream of a country where we have each other's backs, where we're stronger and kinder.
So in collaboration with NFL Inspired Change, we're launching Realizing the Dream.
It's a call for 100 million hours of service by the 100th anniversary of my father's birth.
It's a big goal.
But so is our dream for America.
So what would the social impact look like from 100 million hours of service? Well, we know if we look at how much a volunteer hour is worth and what that would look like if it was times by 100 million hours of service, we're looking at over $3 billion of social value created for communities across the US. Realize the Dream will unify, uplift, and celebrate inspiring acts of service that are youth-led, that are school-led, and also that are community-based and organization-led. It's a profound opportunity to promote and drive awareness around key issues, whether it's equity, inclusion, anti-racism, food insecurity, mental health and well-being, financial literacy, and so many more. It's a wonderful opportunity to address real needs in our communities around real issues present today. There are 3 pillars that bring this movement to life. The first is really about community service and about building an infrastructure that enables millions of young people, schools, school districts, families, communities, and employees to engage in service. The second pillar is around community building, and it's really focused on creating high impact events, both in-person and virtual events that activate and inspire and unify around service. The final pillar is on community engagement, and this is all about epic storytelling and ensuring that with all the service that's happening across our country, that the narrative of just how important service is and how it really helps to unify our country is getting out there, whether it's through podcasts, whether it's through editorial content, newspapers, blogs, social media. Our opportunity is to amplify youth, educator, and school voice in Realize the Dream. So Realize the Dream is a movement over 5 years, and there are many activations that will take place year after year after year. After all, that's how movements are built. And so you can see here that there'll be ongoing activities that are happening across all 3 of the pillars leading up to 2029 and the final massive gathering for the 100th celebration. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the first pillar, community service, and really the focus of making service accessible and actionable. We look at this from a holistic approach of how do we inspire and support schools, educators, youth, families, community-based organizations to really come together and to serve, knowing that each group has their own individual needs, and we want to make sure that we meet those needs. One of the first questions we get is, what does service learning look like? That's a great question because it doesn't look one way, it looks many different ways. So whether it's volunteerism and community service and civic engagement, all very traditional forms of service learning, to behavioral change, advocacy, resource collection, or fundraising. And of course, while service is taking action, we know that a lot of insight and research and understanding root cause of social issues is important. And so as much as it is important to take action, it's equally as important to do your research and to have inquiry and to understand root causes. And we know that that's part of self-education. So service hours can be inclusive of everything that you see here, from volunteerism to self-education. They all count as service hours. So where to start? This is the million-dollar question. And so often we hear, we love this initiative, but we're not sure if we can add one more thing to our plate. And here's the great news. You can start by elevating and sharing the service that your students are already doing. We know in every school across America, there are all kinds of incredible service initiatives that happen every single year, and you can start there. For those of you who have service as your baseline and are looking to do a bit more in year 1, this is a fantastic opportunity to elevate or launch a new service initiative to augment the service that you're already doing. And we have resources to help you do that and make it easy and fun and celebratory along the way. A great first place to start is with our educator guide. And it really breaks down everything that you need to know, where to start, what the process is, what service learning looks like, what are some ideas for service learning projects, whether you're looking for a 1-hour project, a half-day project, a whole-day project, a week-long project. It really helps you conceptualize how you can bring this to life in your classroom or your school. It's good to note that we are also designing a how-to guide for schools and for school districts. So if you're looking to Realize the Dream from a more system-wide perspective, we'll have supports for you in the upcoming months. We also have a host of classroom curriculum. We just launched our very first phase of curriculum, which is focused on community service and tying community service to service learning and also connecting it to Common Core standards, the National Council for Social Studies, and in our upcoming curricular resources that are tied to STEM, we also will align it to our next gen science standards. So we have K-12 lesson packages, anything from supporting K-3 learners, 4, 6, 7, 8, and of course, high school learners. But we also have more turnkey resources, things like our campaign guide. That's great for co-curricular or extracurricular learning, where students might just really want to follow a guide and a very straightforward 4-step process to designing and implementing and taking action on a service learning campaign. And the guide is great to do that. And of course, we have issue cards to help start the conversation around service, to help start the conversation around Realize the Dream and Dr. King's legacy of service. Every couple of months, we'll be launching new thematic curriculum. And so in the upcoming months, you can look forward to curriculum focused on anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We also will have curriculum on food and security and how to take action on hunger in your community. It's also important to note that with all of these lesson packages and the campaign guides, we also have PowerPoint teaching tools. So if you're looking to have a ready-made presentation to bring into your classroom or to your club, you can do that. Our Education Plus YouTube channel has an entire series dedicated to Realize the Dream. So whether you're looking for some inspirational videos or whether you're looking for more how-to videos or classroom activities, or even inspiring youth who are taking action through Realize the Dream, you'll find a host of different examples on YouTube. And finally, we have all types of supplementary resources for you. We have recognition materials for students, for teachers, for families, whether it's a letter of recommendation or a certificate of recommendation. Of course, we know you need to get the word out about Realize the Dream, so we'll have a host of marketing materials for you. Realize the Dream posters, flyers, banners, stickers, even t-shirt designs if you want to get t-shirts or some type of printing done that supports Realize the Dream. And then finally, we have our hours tracker. We know the logistics of actually tracking hours in your classroom, in your school, in your district is really important. So we've created a very easy to use hours tracker that you can track your hours monthly and submit them, and it will tally up all of your hours for your students or for your school, depending on what you're looking for. The final piece we're excited to share is about our community service grants. Starting in fall, we will offer a series of $250 Realize the Dream community service grants. Now, you'll receive an email when they launch, so you'll know when you can apply for one. But the place to apply is on the Education Plus website. And I wanted to include a screenshot there so you know exactly what to look for. And we're really excited to award several hundred youth and teachers with service grants. And not only school-based service projects, but community-based projects. This is really about helping all members of the community that youth are interacting with or serving to support their service. The second pillar of Realize the Dream is really about community building and high impact events, both in person and virtually, for youth and educators in schools. So we'll start with a series of town halls that will be co-hosted by our partner, the NFL, over the next 5 years. We also will have a series of virtual events that are hosted by the Kings. And we are so excited to be able to honor stories of service, share collective hours, and to really honor the good work that we know youth and teachers and schools are doing every single day. And of course, you cannot have a movement without some type of culminating event. So in 2029, on the 100th anniversary of Dr. King's birth, we will have our 100th anniversary event where we'll celebrate, we'll be inspired, and we'll live into our living legacy of service through a nationwide celebration of 100 million hours of service. The final pillar of Realize the Dream is really about community engagement. And this is about the all-important storytelling, amplifying youth and educator and coalition partner stories and voice, making sure those stories of service are being told and are being heard in communities across the country. These are just a few of our different media partners we're working with to bring your stories alive, whether it's PBS, iHeartMedia, Hearst Publications, as well as many others. We're so excited to do this work. We're so excited to share your stories, and it's really going to be about you helping us to amplify your voice and your stories when you're submitting your hours of service and submitting your stories. We also have a host of other national strategic partners, from the College Board to Scholastic to the NFL and Sesame Street, that we're so excited to bring into this initiative and to celebrate their service alongside yours. So here are your next steps. So first is to, of course, attend an onboarding call. And by joining this and watching this video today, you're doing just that. Next, it's really about designing and documenting your service activity, whether it's an existing service activity or whether you're looking to do something new. Our curriculum resources and educator how-to guide will really help set the stage for a comprehensive framework to get you started or to keep you going. Next, you're going to want to track your hours, and you can use our pre-designed tracker to help you stay on track. You can submit your hours and service stories. We encourage you to do it monthly, but we know others are doing it quarterly. Really, what's most important is that you track your hours monthly. So no matter when they're submitted, you have a full picture of the hours on behalf of your group. And we don't collect student information. Hours at your school or through your club or your class can actually be submitted at an aggregate level. And then if you're keeping track of individual student hours, that's terrific. You'll have the recognition resources, the letters, the certificate templates to really recognize those students individually. And then finally, we encourage you to consider having some type of culminating event, whether it's a recognition, a showcase event, whether it's bringing schools, staff, parents, community members, students together to honor them or to host some type of assembly. We really know that so much goes into service. If you're sharing your stories, those are also a great thing to share through a showcase at your local school or with your local community. And so we really want you to be able to celebrate your great work as much as we want to celebrate and uplift your great work. And then, of course, after year one of Realize the Dream, we want you to think about what's your game plan for year two of Realize the Dream. You're just getting started. This movement will continue to grow over time, all the way up till 2029. So that's the scoop. We've talked about your next steps. Where you should go now is over to educationplus.org. That is that's our site where you will find all of our resources readily available. You'll also find our YouTube training, our hours tracker, your how-to guides, everything you need at your fingertips. I've also included my email address there. If you ever have questions, want to schedule a call, or get some more information, simply just drop me a line and we would love to connect with you. For now, thanks so much for tuning in, watching this video. Make sure to check out the links in the chat below, and we look forward to celebrating Realize the Dream with you. Thanks so much.